Welcome back to the channel. I'm Reed. This is Man Cave Guitar Pedal Mania. This project, I'm putting together a premium Wilkinson Super Strat sold by StewMac. So in preparation for staining the body, I went over a couple of places where it was scratched with an orbital sander, and I painted the entire pickup cavity and control cavity with graphite shielding paint. I don't really know that that's going to make a big difference, but it doesn't hurt. Next comes the most exciting part of the project. One, because I love color, and two, because this is the point of no return. Once you start staining a piece of wood, you are committed. With paint, you can always sand it back to bare wood and choose to do something else. With stain, well, you have your choice of either putting another color over top of it, which can have very questionable results, or painting the whole thing a solid color. Now, this is a very nice body. It does have a lot of mineral streaks in it. I did not get a grain sealer, so this is going to come out a very organic piece of wood. And those mineral streaks are going to pick up the pigment from the dye at a different rate than the rest of the body. So this is going to give it a lot of what I think of as character, but other people may think of as imperfections. So all of that is just a matter of taste. Now it is unavoidable, as I was saying in the last video, I'm going to do the headstock in the same stain, but because, as you can see, the headstock is several shades lighter than the body, it will come out looking a little bit different. There's not any way to avoid that. I'm going to put several applications of green stain on this, and we're just going to see how it goes. Okay, again, this is a Crimson Guitars Stunning Stain. I love the videos that the guys in Crimson Guitars do. They're from the UK, but I do not mind throwing them a few bucks and buying products from them. So, their green looks very teal, straight out of the bottle. This is it. Oh, it is not it. Yeah, I'm going to start on the body. Before I stain over there, I'm going to tape off the end of that fingerboard so I don't stain that rosewood. So, let's see how this looks. When I final edit this video, I'm probably just going to fast forward through this. Wonder how much it would cost to license yakety sax. Now, because this is a water-based stain, it's also raising up the grain. One, there's nothing to be done about that. It's the nature of the beast. But two, it's not bad. After we've applied the color, we'll go and knock that back. The little 800 grit paper. Now I'm applying this in a swirling motion to try and prevent getting streaks. But it is definitely going to end up with a few lines where there are transition points in the sanding. Time for my next cloth. And try to remember to put the cap on every time I finish applying anything. I've never actually knocked a bottle of stain over, but I've gotten very, very close. And accidents will happen. As always, end grain takes in stain at a different rate than the top grain. This is why usually when you see a stained body, it's just the cap, like a maple cap, that is stained and not the whole body. Because you can get the stain in a maple cap fairly uniform versus trying to get a uniform color application over an entire guitar body. Set this over here. I can't bump into it because I need my other hand. Yeah, that in grain / side grain soaks up stain. Everything will look more uniform after we've gone over this a couple of times. So this is not a one application process. Stain is not necessarily faster than paint, it's just different. We'll say that on the whole, I think the people at Harmony Musical Instruments in India did a really good job sanding this. Sanding inside the cutaways on a Strat style body is not an easy task, as anybody who's ever done it will tell you. And this feels like they've done a pretty good job. Okay, I gotta come to about the end of that rag. Just using an old t-shirt here. Don't remember if I said that earlier. My technique is pretty primitive. I don't think the guys from Crimson Guitars are going to be contacting me to do product demos for them anytime soon. And we'll go over the top one more time. This time with the grain. The wood's getting pretty soaked. You can see it starts off very aqua, but as we put more stain into the wood, it looks more and more green. I think that is going to be fabulous. It needs a couple of more applications. I'm just going to go around the outside one more time, and then I'm going to let this dry overnight. Come back and knock back that grain with some 800 grit sandpaper. Then repeat the whole process. And with a staining process, you're never going to get it utterly uniform like you do with paint. But you end up with a much more organic looking finish. It's all part of the charm. Nothing is inherently better or worse. It's just what you like. And if you're a do-it-yourself project person, it's what you enjoy doing. Let's see if I can get this in a little bit better. And as always with stain, there are just a couple of spots that don't want to get with the program. And you can't force them to absorb pigment. I will say, if I was going to have attempted a solid color, this body would have needed a lot of grain filling. And it's not inherently good or bad, it's just worth noting in case you want to try one and paint it. Okay. Finish wiping with the grain. Now, I'm going to let that dry overnight, knock off the grain that's been raised with some 800 grit sandpaper, and repeat the process. You can see it's already starting to, sorry. It's already starting to look a lot greener than it was. Some of the areas where it's more in grain, like here on the forearm cut, are absorbing a lot more pigment than the flat areas. That's just how wood works. So I need to let this dry. I need to do the back, but that is enough of the staining demonstration. The next thing I'll demonstrate is when my wood tone kit comes in. I'll show you how that goes on. So I'll make that a separate video. For now, I hope you enjoy following along with this project. If you're staying at home due to COVID-19, stay safe and stay sane. I've been Reed. This has been Man Cave Guitar Pedal Mania.